very much. We have a full day of college basketball on FS1, and we're here in beautiful Boulder, Colorado, as the 13th ranked team in the country, the Tennessee Volunteers, coming to town to take on the Colorado Buffaloes. What's going on, everybody? Jacob Toby alongside former Cal State Northridge Hooper Seth Bonner. When you take a look at Tennessee, they've won their last three. And Kennedy Chandler, he's really, really good. One of the best freshmen in the country.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. Coach Barnes has had a tradition of getting point guards ready. TJ Ford, DJ Augustine, those guys doing a great job. Kennedy Chandler is affecting the game on both ends, coming off a 15 points, 7 assists, 7 steal game. He's leading this team early in the season.
On the other side for the Colorado Buffaloes, the heart and soul of this team, Evan Batty. He struggled against UCLA on Wednesday, fouled out.
Yeah, they need the big man on the court. He is undoubtedly the leader of this team, has grown as a player, shoots 66% from the floor, does a nice job on the block, and play on both ends.
Take a look at the starting lineups. The backcourt for Tennessee, very dangerous. Chandler and Santiago Vescovi. And for Colorado, Jabari Walker, the leading scorer. Watch out for him up front with Evan Batty. And also a lineup change tonight. Victor Bailey has started the last two for Tennessee in place of Josiah Jordan James. And James is not starting tonight, but we are told that he is going to play in this game, coming back from an hand injury. We're underway here in Boulder. Our officials for today, Mike Reed, the head referee, Keith Kimball, and Jerry Pollard. Glad you could join us.
The Buffs coming out man-to-man. Lost art these days.
Fulkerson in the paint. Couldn't get it to go. Walker with the rebound. And a foul right off the bat against the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, that's great post defense. And I tell you, the big man, Batty's going to be locked in. You know, had to sit. Only played 16 minutes against UCLA. They need him on the floor. You see right there how he affects on the defensive end.
Fulkerson to guard Batty. Walker for three. Jabari Walker, the leading scorer for the Buffaloes. 15 points per game, shoots the three at 29%, hits it there.
He's a much better shooter than 29%. Great rotation, great look, good extra pass to get him that open look.
Olivier Comwa hands off to Vescovi. Very dangerous backcourt here for the Volunteers. And a nice take to the basket for Comwa. He gets fouled, and he'll get to the free throw line. Take a look.
Nice drop down inside, and Evan Batty getting his first foul of this game. They got to do a better job of rotating and getting to those spots a little bit earlier.
Rick Barnes in his 7th season as the head coach of the Volunteers. He's got his team playing well right now. They've won their last three. And so this is an issue with the clock. So Mike Reed over at the table. Yep, pointing to the wrist. There you go. He came over to us before the game, said he's going to let us know what's going on today.
Yeah, anything funky happens, we'll come on over. Let's not have any funk going on today.
A minute in and already some funk. All right, Olivier Comwa missing the first free throw. He was 5 for 6 coming into this game. The junior from Helsinki, Finland. Misses both. Here's Bartholomew, the main point guard for Colorado. Now to Walker. And a turnover.
He had a chance to kick that out to the wing immediately for an extra pass. And that's where his game has to elevate. Gets too deep in there on the defense.
Fulkerson muscling his way inside. He couldn't get it to go.
Great challenge down low. I love the way they're playing on the block. The Buffs are challenging everything inside.
Batty almost triple team there for a moment. De Silva in the corner. He gets it to go. Tristan De Silva for three.
That's more like it right there. You kick it out, get an extra pass. Walker doing a nice job.
Another missed shot by Tennessee. They get the offensive rebound. And a turnover. Da Silva. No. Parquet, yes. 8-0, CU.
That's just a hustle play by Parquet, just sprinting down the floor.
The talented freshman gets in the lane. Kennedy Chandler. And a big bucket there to silence this crowd.
Absolutely. You know he's a scorer. 6'1". Has a reach of a 6'6" and a half. Long arms, great defender.
15 on the shot clock for the Buffs. Bartholomew, strong take, couldn't finish.
Made that shot tougher than it had to be. Could have went right up with his right hand.
John Fulkerson with the basketball right now. He's been around a long time, the 6-year senior. Kamwa, and that goes out of bounds. Tad Boyle in his 12th season here in Colorado, second all-time in wins. He's done such a great job with this program, Seth.
He really has, and it's one of the most respected coaches around the country. Excellent, excellent coach.
Josiah Jordan James has come on for the first time today for the Volunteers. Again, hasn't played since November 20th, missed the last 3. Tore a ligament in his left hand against Villanova.
Why is that important? Because he's a lefty.
Walker for 3. Kept alive by Colorado. Another turnover, the second on the day for CU.
That's those long arms, talking about with Kennedy Chandler.
Justin Powell, no. Uroš Plavšić, who's also come on for Tennessee, the big man. It's the rebound.
We're going to get Jabari Walker on that foul.
You are excited to see this guy play right here.
Yeah, I am. Big lefty. He's got a smooth stroke. Strong to the finish. And he was so intense in the shoot-around yesterday. It was like game time for him. But that's what happens when you're out of the game for a while and you get a chance to get yourself going again.
There he is, and sticks the jumper. Josiah Jordan James, the junior from Charleston, South Carolina. That one looks smooth.
Very smooth. Big, strong. Can elevate.
Bartholomew, cross-court pass. This is Nick Clifford. Almost tipped in by Da Silva.
Good job. I love the way CU is getting that one extra pass, and we listened to Coach Boulder talk about getting that extra pass. Get one more. Get one more. They're getting some great looks by being patient.
Yeah, we were at practice yesterday. That was all Tad Boyle was saying. Nice cut inside. And there's Plavšić, the big man from Serbia, down low for 2. 8-6.
It's a great dish. Penetrating kick. Big man's in a great spot to finish.
Da Silva. Guarded by Plavšić.
Got to really be secure with the ball. Quick hands from every one of the Volunteers.
Bartholomew quick to the rim for 2. Keyshawn Bartholomew. Speedy quickness. But the Buffaloes deflected out of bounds. And we have our first timeout on the court. Tristan Da Silva in the corner for 3. And then Bartholomew, the sweet take for 2. So this is the guy that Tad Boyle has tabbed to fill in for star point guard McKinley Wright, who's now working his way in the NBA with the Timberwolves. Bartholomew, a sophomore from Quebec, struggled at UCLA, but he can score the basketball set.
He can. He's got a numerous amount of moves in his game.
Yep.
And listen, UCLA, that atmosphere, the long wing players, you know, as he continues to mature and grow and learn, he'll be able to use all the tools in his toolbox. He'll be just fine.
And his backup point guard, KJ Simpson, has checked in for him at the moment, along with the 7-footer for Colorado, Lawson Lovering.
KJ Simpson, a high flyer, explosive player. He's learned how to harness some of that energy at times, but man, is he explosive.
What do you want to see from Tennessee here? They've sort of got back into rhythm a little bit.
They just got to settle in, right? It's just your road game environment, right? Their first true road game in a long time. Settle into the game and let it flow.
Almost stolen by Parquet.
That's such good energy and rotation by the Buffs there defensively. Nearly come up with the steal. Man, it takes some focus, some lock-in to really get after it on the defensive end. And they're doing a great job early on in this game.
11 on the shot clock for Tennessee. Batty comes on for Colorado. James missing. Simpson battling for the rebound. Batty goes flying out of bounds. It'll be Colorado basketball.
We'll go with that. It looked like it was off the Buffs, but I'm sure they'll take that call. Seeing that they didn't get much. Let's go to UCLA.
Batty in the mid-range, no. James with the rebound, active so far. Fulkerson guarded by Batty.
He's got a foul on him, so you should go right at him.
Can't connect there, out of bounds. Colorado gets the basketball again.
If I'm Fulkerson, I really want to attack Batty, right? He's already got one foul on him. I'm not going to just settle for a kind of fadeaway jump hook. I need to make some kind of move and see if I could possibly get another foul on the heart and soul of the Buffs.
Yeah, you take a look at Batty, and only 4 points, 2 of 7 from the field at UCLA, but foul trouble really hurt him in that game.
Yeah, 16 minutes on the floor is not enough for your leader.
15 on the shot clock for CU. Simpson, nice move. Couldn't finish.
Oh, great looking move. He is dynamic.
And Doggin on the defensive end as well. Almost stolen by Lovering.
I mean, the effort. I mean, you can't say enough about it because it is the one thing that will drive coaches crazy is effort on the defensive end. And the Buffs right now are putting it all in there.
That was Lovering, the freshman from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Tad Boyle's true big man, 7 feet. $20 on the shot clock for the Vols.
Great back cut.
Santiago Vescovi up and under. The scoop layup goes. Vescovi, the leading scorer for Tennessee, 16 points per game.
That's just great movement without the ball.
Batty can't hit. Huntley Hatfield ripping down the rebound. Vescovi again, watch out. He gets hot. It'll be a long day for CU.
Kai Ziegler has checked in the game as well. Another quick point guard for Tennessee.
O'Brien making it home for 2 and a foul. Luke O'Brien.
Columbine Rebel. Local kid. This is a nice strong move, and you see the bump there, and he finishes through the contact to stop the run of Vescovi.
O'Brien, the 6'8" sophomore from Littleton, Colorado, about 30 minutes from Boulder. Played 10 games last year. Connects on the free throw. Colorado by 2. 13 minutes to go here in this first half. Glad you could join us. Jacob Toby alongside Seth Bonner. Here's Ziegler. You really like him.
Yeah, he's got a terrific game. He's a fighter, hard-nosed kid.
Missing there. O'Brien with the board.
This lineup out here for Tennessee, you've got to be careful with those passes around the wing. They get in the gaps so well.
De Silva. And there's Ziegler fighting for the rebound, and he gets bumped.
KJ Simpson.
So Ziegler, the freshman from Long Island, New York, he plays with that New York City toughness.
Toughness, swag, all of it, right? He's got a chip on his shoulder. Late recruit. Kid wasn't even being recruited. Reclassified and was able to find his way into a great situation here at Tennessee.
Yeah, didn't have a scholarship offer until July. But he played very well at the Peach Jam tournament, and Tennessee jumped on him. Comes off the bench and provides a spark. There's their star inside. Couldn't get it to go. That was Chandler. All the way up to O'Brien. The pass just a little bit too out in front of him.
The Vols getting Vescovy underway. Look at this sweet reverse and the kiss.
Tonight, Jim Harbaugh leads his second-ranked Michigan Wolverines into their first-ever Big Ten championship game, looking to punch their ticket to the playoffs against number 13 Iowa. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Back here in Boulder, Jacob Toby alongside former Cal State Northridge Hooper, Seth Bonner. You also played in the Arena Football League a little bit. What's your take on some football there?
I like Harbaugh and the Wolverines. Iowa can't score enough to stick with the Wolverines.
Vescovy can score, though. That's his second three. And Tennessee's got a 1-point lead.
That's just recognition on the defensive end. You got to know who the shooters are. Can't allow that guy to beat you outside.
35% three-point shooter, Santiago Vescovy. Ziegler hounding Simpson. And they're going to call a foul on Ziegler.
That's a tough call right there. They're matched up, balls high, put hands on the ball. It almost looked like one of those volleyball blocks where you're pressed at the net and somebody roofs you right down. I don't know where the foul came on that one.
The first foul on Ziegler. Evan Batty. And he'll get fouled. Another foul on the Volunteers.
Well, that's a foul. Coming through that screen a little bit too tight.
That's the second foul on Vescovy. And he'll sit down. Backup point guard against backup point guard. Simpson and Ziegler. This is Batty. He can't get it to go. And then the foul called against the Buffaloes.
That's going to be 2 on Walker. This is just an effort play right here. Tough call. And Jamari's done such a great job this season on the boards and really fighting. And that's like a loose ball. Like the ball's up in the air. But that's a tough call.
Yeah, love to see the effort from Walker, who's improved his rebounding. Didn't get the rebound there, but amongst the trees nonetheless. Alley-oop, couldn't finish. Kama was up there. He was all the way up there.
You got to make him pay for it here if you're CU.
CU down by 1. And a timeout called by Colorado.
Such a good pass. You've got to finish this hoop here for Kamwa. Good back screen. And just misses the dunk. Well designed. Poor execution.
Now, Tennessee and Colorado played last year. How the series came together. It's the second of a 3-game series. And it was all because of COVID scheduling. There were some cancellations on a Saturday. They found out how to play that game last year. In 72 hours, they played on a Tuesday. Tennessee won that game 56-47. the game this year, and then they'll play a neutral game next year in Nashville.
Yeah, with fans in Nashville. Right? So they'll be excited to go back home and play there. This is, again, one of their first true road games in front of a hostile environment. They're excited for this challenge.
Can Colorado take the lead? Almost turned over.
Got to be careful. There's some defensive hawks on the court right now.
4 on the clock. Batty, yes, his first field goal of the day. Evan Batty.
Good hands by De Silva.
What are you looking for from CU's defense?
Just to stay locked in. You can't get sucked in and give up a backdoor cut for an easy dunk. But that's okay. You know who your guy is. You let him shoot that in the corner. But watch Batty with the pick and roll, the nice soft touch, and the kiss. It's a great touch. See the 2 feet jump right there? Keeps him out of harm's way with an offensive foul. Beautifully executed.
Slight pressure here on the defensive end for Tennessee. Bartholomew off the curl. Can't connect. De Silva, the second time he's almost flung it in the rim on an offensive rebound attempt.
He could have grabbed that one.
Chandler. Been quiet so far, just 2 points. Can't hit the 3. Ziegler can't make the Buffs pay. Batty saves it.
That's a great catch by De Silva. I mean, that was a rocket ship that Batty threw back at him.
Batty almost stepping into the 3. The crowd would have loved to see that. And another turnover for CU. That's 3, or 4, excuse me. And a bucket for Chandler.
So explosive, long arms. And as you see there, can elevate.
Take a look at Chandler with the speed.
Hits the gas and all the way up and under. Look at the body control, man. That's just a great shot. Great finish.
Tennessee by 1. Bartholomew, quick fire. That is a miss. Flying in for 2. Keyshawn Bartholomew. And Chandler going right back, and he'll get to the free throw line.
You cannot fall asleep on the defensive end.
Both teams running and gunning.
They are. Gets his own miss. Bartholomew, and then up and under. Again, body control. And Tennessee comes right back at him with Kennedy Chandler attacking. You've got to get back and get your head around and play deep.
Such a talented freshman, the top point guard in the class of 2021. Can't hit the first free throw.
He was 10 for 10 for that miss coming in. One thing we haven't even talked about is they're playing above altitude on the road.
0 for 2 from Chandler. And 0 for 3 for Tennessee. Crowd not happy with that call on the floor.
From our angle, it did go right off of his leg. I mean, Simpson, KJ getting loose with the basketball. You got to take care of the ball with these guards out there. 5
turnovers for Colorado so far in this game. They average 12. 6th most in the Pac-12.
You look at that, to just 1 for Tennessee.
Fulkerson. No, Lovren was there to challenge. Nice defense from Colorado. And a travel against O'Brien. Another turnover for CU. CU started off really well. They've slowed down a little bit, Seth.
They have. Just, you've got to maintain the energy, right? But it's hard. Tennessee's a good team. They're patient. They've clawed their way back in. They're running waves of guards and playmakers at you. You've got to just stay with it. But when you get opportunities to finish like there, you can't have empty possessions.
Alley-oop, that time works. Kennedy Chandler to John Fulkerson.
Chandler just making it look easy. Gets in the lane and just tosses it up.
(18-17), Tennessee. Parquet stepped out of bounds, and CU keeps turning it over.
3 straight possessions with turnovers.
How about this? The youngster, the freshman to the old man, Fulkerson up for 2. A 1-point lead for Tennessee here on FS1. Here in Boulder, a 1-point lead for the Volunteers over the Buffs. John Fulkerson had that alley-oop dunk a few moments ago, and this is a guy that's the 4th oldest active Division I player. He's older than 191 current NBA players, 24 years and 6 months. This dude has been around, Seth.
He has, and listen, he's a Vol through and through,
yes,
right?
That's what Rick Barnes told us.
Absolutely. And listen, I would be the same way. I'd want to play and finish out what I started. He's doing an excellent job, has fought through a ton of injuries, and just to stick around. It's what college sports is all about. A guy that just loves it and loves his team. It's an amazing career for him.
This is his 138th career game. The record for Tennessee is 142, set by Wayne Chisholm back in 2006 to 2010. And he'll break that this year. Here's Chandler, guarded by Parquet. Parquet knocking it away. 15 on the shot clock. There's Fulkerson, a strong take for 2.
That could have been an and one. That's a great finish. And Lovering has to show a little faster on that pick and roll.
Simpson lost it out of bounds, but it was deflected off of Tennessee.
Right, see, there's too much space. When Chandler's coming off that pick, you got to step up in his face. Not give him so much room. Good finish there by Fulkerson.
Chandler's got 2 assists so far. He averages 5, third in the SEC. He can pass the basketball. Nice pass underneath. Easy, too. Evan Batty all by himself.
I think that's what's so good about De Silva's game. He's very unselfish. Plays under control. He almost should be a little more selfish with his shot at times.
Ziegler. Now Fulkerson. Nice cut by Chandler. Gets it to go. Kennedy Chandler starting to heat up a little bit.
He's doing a lot of things for the Vols. Catches Keyshawn Bartholomew not paying attention, looking away, and he makes a nice vertical down cut for the easy bucket.
Parquet. Shut off. Now Batty spinning his way. Rejected by Fulkerson. And here come the Vols. Powell spinning. Powell driving. He couldn't finish.
Should have stayed on the same side of the rim.
Do you like that shot from
I
Bartholomew?
do not like that shot.
Yep.
You got to get something.
Powell. Short. Bartholomew. Nicely done on the baseline with the hustle.
He's getting a little hectic on the floor. Powell coming off a game where he hit 5 threes on 5 attempts. So you got to understand where the shooters are. Get to that young man. Don't let him have free looks. But you'd have to figure the pace favors the Buffs. Being here in elevation.
Uroš Plavčić and Brendan Huntley Hatfield have come on for Rick Barnes' team. A couple big guys. And a pass out of bounds from Simpson. Looking for Neat Clifford to cut.
Yeah, he wanted him to go to the basket, and they just stayed wide. That's a great look by Simpson. Again, empty possessions.
8 turnovers for CU. Huntley Hatfield couldn't control it.
Well, it's just the second turnover for Tennessee. Got to get buckets. You got to get points on this end.
Who do you look to score in this lineup for CU? Batty misses. You're going to say him, right?
You look for Batty, but I think we're settling on the other end.
Offensive foul down low against the Volunteers. As Ziegler was speeding to the rim. That was on Plavšić.
I believe they're going to call him for an illegal.
It looked like he just turned.
Just turned and boxed out.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, but the call was made.
Under 5 to play here in the first half in Boulder. Tennessee up 22-19. And another CU turnover.
So their hands are too good in the gaps. You cannot throw lazy passes and get away with it. You've got to be more secure with your passes and looks. And that's too easy.
Chandler for 2. Tennessee averages 10.5 steals per game. Really, really good defensively under Rick Barnes. 12th nationally in steals.
And we're going to just a breakdown and giving up too much ground, backing away, not forcing him to make a decision one way or another. But since Ziegler's come into the game, he is really given a spark.
What a block by Kamwa. Pinning it against the backboard. And a failed alley-oop pass from Fulkerson to Kamwa. This building has gone a little silent here in Boulder at the CU Event Center. Colorado struggling right now, down 24-19 here on FS1. Tennessee over Colorado, just under 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Zakai Ziegler has been a big part of this game so far on the defensive side. 9 CU turnovers. He's forced a couple of those. Head coach Rick Barnes telling us he's been the best thing that happened to Vescovy and Chandler. In practice, he just dogs him on the defensive end. He works so hard.
He does, and what you see right now is the way he practices day in and day out. You know, we talked about him earlier, playing with a chip on his shoulder, undersized guy, but the fight in that dog is huge.
All right, how will CU respond? Julian Hammond has come on, the third point guard on CU's roster, the freshman from Denver. Tad Boyle looking for a little spark.
Yeah, and places for offense, right? You get another athletic kid that can get up off the ground.
He turns it over there, yeah.
That's a good pass. You got to be ready for that while you're standing on the block.
10 CU turnovers here in the first half. Chandler driving, and a charge taken by Evan Batty as he's slapping the floor. That's the dirty work that Batty brings.
That is. He beats Simpson off the dribble, and Evan comes over, does a nice job getting outside the circle. And that's where this guy leads this team. The little things that sometimes don't show up in the stat sheet. He's willing to do those things night in and night out.
We had mentioned John Fulkerson being around a long time for Tennessee. Evan Batty's been here a while for CU. Such a big part of the culture. Number 11 on the turnover sheet for CU. Ziegler, not afraid, flipping it up for 2. Zakai Ziegler.
I mean, outstanding. And defense turning to offense. CU being careful with or careless with the ball, excuse me.
And that's a testament to not scoring until under 3 minutes to go, but still having a grand impact on the game as Barthélemy misses. And here comes Ziegler, a 2-on-1. Taking it himself. Couldn't finish.
Don't mind that shot by that young man. He's played so hard on both ends. Has an easy layup.
Hammond, a three for the freshman, Julian Hammond. His second three-pointer on the season.
Cherry Creek Bruin, local guy again, doing work. Coming off the bench, getting better with each practice.
Chandler answering, swishing at Jay. He's got 10 points.
But that's where Hammond falls short, right? Understanding of defense and how to play it on this level. It's got to get better.
See you down by 6. 12 on the shot clock. Nice pass inside. Batty, 1-2. Up fakes. He's so emotional on the court. You can just see it in the way he plays. Such a nice kid, though, off the court when you talk to him. Holds himself really accountable. One of the leaders of this team.
And a player that is truly ecstatic to be playing basketball, right? He loves the Buffs, loves everything about being a student athlete, takes the student part very serious. Tremendous leader.
Yeah, Tad Boyle saying he's such a good teammate. He'd rather pass than shoot sometimes, or we're going to need Evan to be an aggressive scorer. With the loss of McKinley Wright, Jariah Horn, Deshaun Schwartz, all those seniors for CU that made them so good last year.
Well, I think that the way he scores, the things that he can do down low, the way he passes the ball as well, it just helps. You know, talked about him shooting 66% from the floor. He's not going to take bad shots. Player you can trust.
Just under a minute 30 left to go in the first half. Chandler taking over to the rim again. Kennedy Chandler, the star freshman guard for the Volunteers.
They got to do something better with this high pick and roll. Someone has to step up, force him to pass it, make the bigs deliver out in space.
Chandler 6 of 9 from the field. Told us yesterday he's really confident shooting the basketball. He's missed a couple threes here, but he hit the mid-range, went to the rim, doing it all.
I'd much rather have Fulkerson out there 8-10 feet trying to work some moves. You can recover defensively, but when this guy turns the corner on you, it's too late.
Hammond with the missed free throw. Since the Buffs led 17-16, they've been 1 for 7, with 7 turnovers. Tennessee on a 14-7 run. And if you're Colorado, how do you sort of end this half on a good note? 50 seconds to go.
You really got to get a couple good shots, good opportunities, right? If you get the ball back here, 20 seconds left on the shot clock, so you have an opportunity to go up and try to get one quick and get another possession. Just depends how long Tennessee holds it, but you got to get shots, good shots. Don't settle for threes.
Chandler again to the rim. Kennedy Chandler has got 14 first half points here in Boulder.
You've got to force him the other direction.
And that was one thing Tad Boyle was saying every time in practice. These guards are quick. They're going to get by you guys.
When they turn the corner, it's too late. Right there, Lovering's got to step up. You're in no man's land. You've got to step up and help. That's too easy to let him turn the corner and get downhill. If he's downhill, they're scoring.
Yeah, Chandler actually has a little connection here to Colorado. He was recruited primarily by Kim English, who was a former assistant here and also an assistant with Tennessee. He took the head coaching job at George Mason. And so there's a little connection there. And I actually talked to Kim yesterday briefly, and he said he spoke to Kennedy and his family almost every day for 2 years, really happy for all his success at UT. And he also said he'd be watching today. He hoped both teams could win because of his ties with with Tennessee, but he's doing a great job at George Mason.
That's a politically correct answer, right?
But Tennessee really, really happy they got this kid, the best point guard in the class.
And mature, right? We spent some time with him yesterday afternoon, and very mature kid. Says he wants to be coached. He knows Coach Barnes has a legacy of turning out some tremendous point guards, and he wants to learn from one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Chandler will hold for a final shot. Rick Barnes saying, all right, start the motion. Chandler again, right side, and scores. Kennedy Chandler has 16, and that's how this first half ends. A 10-point lead for Tennessee as Kennedy Chandler is going off. All right, that's the end of the first half. Tennessee 34, Colorado 24. Coming up next, it's Mike Hill, Steve Lavin, and Casey Jacobson in the studio after the break, right here on FM. Beautiful afternoon here in Boulder, Colorado on the campus. And a 34-24 halftime lead for the 13th ranked team in the country, the Tennessee Volunteers. And a big part of that, their star point guard, Kennedy Chandler, said.
Yeah, he was special in this first half, getting downhill early, putting the defense in harm's way, play after play. A lot of his highlights look exactly the same, but this guy got it done. 16 points in that first half on 8 of 11 shooting. Special first half.
Missed his 2 3-pointers, but he did everything else right, and a lot of the defense for Tennessee was right as well. They closed out this half on an 18-7 run. A lot of it on the defensive end.
They did. Getting hands on balls, like getting in. Anytime anybody's driving, it's getting pulled away. See folks in there with the big block. These guys were making an effort to challenge every pass, every cut, every shot. They got after it. Great half defensively for the Volunteers.
Colorado had 12 turnovers in the first half. They averaged 13. What'll happen in the second half with that? Find out after this on FS1. Tennessee, first half stats. What stands out to you, my man?
Points in the paint. I mean, they gave up 10 layups. CU did in that first half. Points in the paint are a killer. Turnovers as well. 12 turnovers. They averaged 13 on the season. They've got to get back and be mindful and take care of the ball. Value every possession.
This game started off with Colorado on an 8-0 run. Things slowed down a little bit. Their turnovers started to rise, and now they've got a 10-point deficit to handle. Second half just underway. Jacob Toby alongside Seth Bonner, and there's Tristan De Silva with a jumper inside for 2.
On cue, nice curl. He did a nice job getting squared up, taking that shot. And now the emphasis has to be on this end of the floor for the Buffs.
Chandler. A great first half, 16 points. 9 in the shot clock for Tennessee. And a turnover to start off their second half.
This is an excellent job by De Silva. Look at that curl right there. Nice down. It could have got an and one right there. It was fouled by Victor Bailey on the arm there as he shot that ball, but a good start for the Buffs.
De Silva's got 5 points. He averages 8 on the season. Maybe see him be a little bit more active in the second half, aggressive on the offensive end.
Absolutely. He's got a nice touch. He plays under control.
There's De Silva. And there he is, Tristan De Silva from downtown. Right on cue.
Absolutely. He knows we're talking about his game.
Chandler answering from downtown.
I was just about to say that's a bad shot
But it went in.
by Kennedy Chandler. Still a bad shot.
Barthélemy driving. Beautiful take.
Great block. That's that leaping ability, long arms.
Walker with a steal. Walker to the rim, and he's fouled. Walker just 3 points in the first half, the leading scorer for Colorado. He'll definitely need to get going here in the second half if CU wants to win this game.
Yeah, he's got to find a way to shake himself free. This team, the Vols, are not going to give you spot-up easy looks. You're going to have to move without the basketball, find your way to the rim, and there he gets a run out and is aggressive, and it's paying off for him.
Powell comes back on for Tennessee. Tad Boyle has said Walker had a really different role last year. He was the freshman that could come off the bench, hit a couple threes, shrug his shoulders. He's the cool kid, you know what I mean? And then this year he's counted on as a scorer with losing McKinley Wright and some of the other seniors, and he's had to carry that load and learn how to carry that load.
Well, that doesn't only mean you score, but you help other people score by being a facilitator and a good passer.
Kama off on the three. And that's another thing Tad Boyle was saying. He was upset about his assist-to-turnover ratio. It's at .42.
Kama with the block. There's so much length and athleticism down low for Tennessee. When you get the ball, you have to finish through their bodies somehow.
Kamwa and one. Olivier Kamwa. Strong down low.
On both ends. Watch this late challenge here. Gets just enough of that, and then the tip out. But Strong, nice use of the pivot foot, goes to the left hand for the finish.
Olivier Kamwa, the 6'8" junior from Helsinki, Finland, the first Tennessee basketball player from Finland. Converts on a three-point play.
I'm sure they're excited to have him. He's done an outstanding job.
That was the first made free throw for UT, 1 for 5. Parquet, tough shot, rattles it home.
Yeah, that was against tough defense by Vescovy, but Parquet does a nice job of turning, fading away, giving himself just enough space to finish that.
Powell, nice up fake. Couldn't stick the pull-up jumper. CU trying to build some momentum here. Parquet from the corner. Way off.
Tell you what, the crowd was waiting for that to go down. They needed that.
Colorado trying to bounce back from their loss at number 5 UCLA on Wednesday. Walker walking in to a three, but couldn't hit.
Went through a little cold spell for both teams like this in the first half. You've got to run some offense here if you're Tennessee. Move the ball. Get yourself the look you want.
Tennessee responded to that cold trend they had offensively. CU really didn't. 5 on the shot clock for Powell. Powell blocked by Walker. And a tough shot by Justin Powell.
Well, you got 6'9" in front of you playing exceptional defense. Does a nice job, doesn't get out of control. That's a good three-point shooter there. He was in great defensive position. Nice block by Jabari Walker.
Colorado down by 7. Walker.
Should always face up and be a threat.
Powell. Maybe a smart move to pull it out. Ziegler. Couldn't connect. Kept alive down low by James. And a foul against Colorado. Tennessee up 40-33, 15:34 to go in the second half here on FS1. Hasn't snowed yet really much this year in Colorado.
Much.
Some people are mad about that.
At all. Come on, man.
The skiers are mad. I myself, I don't mind it.
I have grass. I depend on the snow to help it keep watered, man. Come on. Need a little bit of it.
Tennessee up by 7. Fulkerson against Batty. Nice up fake and a man's jam. Down low. Sean Fulkerson.
That was awesome. Great finish. Good patience.
You know, it didn't look like he was going to do that at first. He rose up.
He did. From outside the circle. But he's long and has some length. Might have moved that pivot fit just a little bit. But just up and under. That's why you got to stay low and stay in good position.
Tennessee 30 paint points. CU has just 14.
Vescovy just picked up his 3rd foul.
Simpson off on the 3. Yeah, Vescovy 3 fouls, 8 points. Hasn't exploded like you maybe would have expected.
Well, he started to and then got in foul trouble, and that's what brought Zakai Ziegler in the game. And he's back.
And those 3 guards really interchangeable. They'll play together at times. And Fulkerson again down low. He's got 8 points.
He's looking as strong as ever right now. Elevating, exploding up high. Look at that help defense. Everywhere, harassing, and no movement. The Buffs are stagnant.
Parquet, 6 on the shot clock. Barthélemy rimming out on a 3. 0 for 4 from downtown today is Keyshawn Barthélemy. And Ziegler lost it out of bounds. Came up maybe a little hobbled. Rick Barnes telling him slow down.
Yeah, he's working that left leg out a little bit.
Yeah, still rubbing it right now.
Yeah. Tennessee has been extremely physical with the Buffs.
The biggest lead tonight for Tennessee. Up 11. Walker. De Silva had a couple buckets early.
That's a good call. Got him across the head. That's a solid challenge there by Triple J, but watch him swipe across the head. And I love the fact that De Silva's being aggressive. He needs to be aggressive. He's got some size.
The second foul on Josiah Jordan-James. So De Silva back to the free throw line. Can't hit the first. Was 12 of 15 coming into tonight from the line. 24 games last year. He's sophomore from Germany. His brother was on Stanford, Oscar De Silva. Now he's playing pro in Germany.
His brother could play now. He can score.
Yeah, averaged 18 last year with Stanford. Still a double-digit lead here in Boulder. Tennessee up 10. Walker to take the defensive challenge.
Great D by Jabari Walker.
7 on the shot clock for the Vols. Kamwa.
It's a great defensive possession there by the Buffs. You've got to turn that into points.
Simpson hit in the air, and he'll get to the free throw line. A beautiful move off the bounce.
Yeah, this is exceptional. Look at Jabari Walker taking the guard on. Then he slides out, takes the forward on the edge. That's just all effort play right here. Effort, force a tough shot. And then something good happens to you on the other end. You're able to go, penetrate, and get to the line. And you missed it.
Yeah, we were talking about Walker yesterday as Hammond comes back on for Colorado. And it's the length from Walker. It's the size. And if he gets that playmaking skill, that's what's going to make him a special player at the next level.
Oh, without question. But you see right there, he made the effort. Like he dialed in, was moving his feet. He knew he had an exceptional point guard in front of him. You want to see that every time. Every time down the floor, doesn't matter who you guard, you want to see that kind of effort.
Simpson, a 65% free throw shooter, was the Pac-12 Freshman of the Week, named on the 29th of November. Drops in the second, 1 for 2 on that trip to the free throw line. Tennessee up 9. Under 13 minutes to go here in the second half from Boulder. Huntley Hatfield.
And challenged the big man. You get him to take a shot fading away from the bucket.
Batty. He gets hit, and there he is. Energetic as always.
We played 7.5 minutes here in the second half. That's his first time touching the ball, right? And it's because of him. Goes and gets an offensive board. And you see the foul there on the arm. But the emotional charge is what's gold for the Buffs.
Batty scored his 1,000th point against Stanford on Monday. 38th player in school history to do so. The fourth of that special 2017 class. McKinley Wright, Tyler Bay, Deshaun Schwartz. Wright and Bay in the NBA. Schwartz at George Mason. And Kim English.
So 79% free throw shooting team, and they're struggling this afternoon. 7 of 12.
Ziegler wide open, can't connect. He's 0 for 4 from downtown today. Simpson, pick and roll with Batty, didn't elect to go down low.
That's because he was hedged out by Huntley Hatfield. That's a good job of showing.
De Silva, beautiful spin to the rack.
Need him to continue to be aggressive. Doing excellent job. Crowd getting into it.
Chandler silencing the crowd again. He's got 21 points.
That is just so strong. And you elevate with the big players down low and above them and finish with power. And every time they need one, KC, Kennedy Chandler, comes up big.
Career high 21 points on 10 of 14 from the field. A special performance here in Boulder. And a timeout on the court. The freshman star with the energy. A couple moments ago, we mentioned Evan Batty scoring his 1,000th point Monday against Stanford, the 38th player in school history to do so. Here's the bucket. Again, the fourth player to do so, that special 2017 class. And, of course, you're going to get the locker room celly in honor before the game as well.
I love the fact that he hit the gritty coming into the locker room to get the water shower. It was awesome.
Batty has battled through a lot. Freshman year struggled, had a stroke on the way to the hospital, had a seizure in the ambulance. He's battled back from that, comes from a great family. And he is, we've said it before, the heart and soul of the CU Buffs.
I mean, there can't be any better example of perseverance in the world today.
There he is down low, muscling his way.
Right on cue. They come out and run a play for him downhill, and he delivers.
Foul on the floor against Colorado that'll go on parquet. Nice pass inside from Simpson.
Really good pass. Using his body. Great slide. Just a good job. I mean, when you get the ball to the guys in the right spot, it makes it so much easier for them to make an offensive play or a positive offensive play.
Vescovy has come back on as Powell misses the three. Josiah Jordan-James back in as well for Tennessee. Simpson. Oh! K.J. Simpson throwing down the hammer in Boulder.
He wanted to add one. We were talking, partner, about explosiveness of K.J. Simpson. They need that.
The crowd on its feet. They got to sit back down. Vescovy skip to Mylou for two.
Says, don't forget about me. I can score. I just been saddled with some fouls.
This place was rocking for
all
but 30 seconds, and then the momentum shifted again. Fulkerson.
Go ahead and turn to the middle of the court with your left hand.
Take a look at the young fella.
The ultimate challenge goes at everybody.
That's
Who else
three.
wants some?
That's three people.
Who else wants in this poster? Who else wants some?
That is.
And he was fouled.
That is his highlight.
I mean, that is an and one situation right there.
They just called a foul on Batty. That's his second.
Well, that's Fulkerson got that foul from the last sequence down low. Really battling it out.
There they go again. They've been battling all night long. Couldn't get it to go that time. De Silva with the rebound. Simpson almost turned it over. Walker. The lead cut to 5.
Playing tough D. Not giving up empty or free layups on the defensive end. Loves to climb back in this thing.
Chandler
Good, man.
inside again.
Good,
23 points.
And then has something for the student section up there as well after he finishes.
Every time CU gets a big bucket, Tennessee responds.
Just too many weapons.
Simpson again, floating in the air.
Did we mention he was explosive?
We forgot.
It's a nice cut. Moving without the ball, gets a great pass, and is able to finish it.
Rick Barnes elects to take a timeout as the crowd is coming alive at the CU Event Center here in Boulder, Colorado within 5. We're back in a moment after this. Tennessee with a 5-point lead. CU trying to crawl back into this thing. Tennessee, the leading scorers, 41 of the 50. These three guys right here said.
They are getting it done. And Kennedy Chandler, man, every time they need a bucket, he is able to find his way to the rim and finish. CU's got to do a better job of getting the ball out of his hands. Make somebody else beat you.
All right, the final 8 minutes of this second half from Boulder. Glad you could join us. Jacob Toby alongside Seth Bonner. And a big three-point bucket by Josiah Jordan-James. Hasn't played the last 3, but he's playing well tonight.
He has looked really good. Shoot around yesterday, moving well. Stroke looks good right there.
Walker can't answer.
Walker just hasn't been able to get it going. We'll look to do that as we get back. And beautiful 3 right here. Triple J knocking it down. man showing that old man game, but look at the elevation there with the left hand. And then good patience, sees it out. You see the assist to Kennedy Chandler on the cut, but this is a nice up and under with the finish. It's nice to see the lefties getting it done.
Southpaw. Yeah, he's built up a really good reputation around town in Knoxville and the state of Tennessee. Just like we said before, a volunteer through and through. He's been through a lot of injuries, had wrist surgery in June, broke the left thumb in an open scrimmage, missed the first game of the season. He's back, healthy, ready to go. Plavšić for two.
Making that extra pass down on the block. Could have forced that shot up, but waited for a nice cut. Gets an easy two.
Tennessee lead back to 10. Barthélemy will struggle today from the field. Now 2 of 11.
Struggling with good. And you see a little indecision on his part there. You got a big man on you. Just make a decision and attack or shoot the jumper. Either or, but do it.
Vescovy thought about the three. Whizzes a pass to the corner. And Powell, a big three-pointer for Justin Powell. And a timeout. .45, Tennessee up 13. Kennedy Chandler's hit some big shots tonight. 23 points in this game as his Volunteers are up 13. We were talking to him yesterday, sitting where we are right now at the scorer's table, center court. He was talking to us, then all of a sudden he had to go over to his team for a second. He goes, quote, 1 second, he had a ball in his hand, shot a half-court shot, swished it, walked away like it was nothing, did the team thing, came back, talked to us, and didn't even mention what he just did.
No. And made it look easy.
We were just laughing because he can hit some big shots.
You can't be afraid of that moment, right? If you're a scorer, real scorers and guys that understand, you're not afraid of that moment. You want it in your hand.
Simpson trying to go through a brick wall. It seemed 3 players right there.
That's okay. That's a great force right there by Simpson. You got to take advantage of soft areas in the defense as you get a look at KC's numbers on the afternoon.
Played with USA Basketball, the FIBA U19 team, won the gold medal with Chet Holmgren of Gonzaga and Harrison Ingram of Stanford and some of the other talented young players in the country. Said that experience really, really helped him.
And I think that's what really, you talked about helping, turn him into a leader, right? They lost their first game in the U19, and they're loaded with talent. You see all the guys that they have. They called a players-only meeting and got together. Like, listen, we can all score, but unless we share the basketball, unless we do and play the game the right way, we're not going to win this thing. Sure enough, they didn't lose another game and won the gold medal.
There he is, an easy 2. Chandler's got 25.
You see, that's exactly what I'm talking about on the other end. If you get a big on you, attack. Don't.
Walker blocked from behind by James. Batty inside, and he gets hacked.
Watch him attack here as he turns the corner and goes downhill. And it's too much speed. And again, you're talking about a 6'1" player with arm 6'6" and 3/4 reach. Oh, and he could jump out of the gym.
Yeah, he was talking to us about Rick Barnes, telling him about how special TJ Ford was at Texas and how he wants
Augustine as well.
Yep, how he wants to be those kind of guards.
That's what he wants for his future, to be in that category, in that space, in that conversation with those kind of guys.
Look and see you show on the defensive end here.
Simpson had time to switch that back. He leaves his big man on an island.
Nice pass underneath to Walker. Turned it over, though. Vescovy pressured by Parquet. And Tennessee will slow down.
Yeah, that's a great job. Kick it out. Don't force. The onus is on Colorado right now to get back in this game. You can take your time and get the best shot you can get.
6 on the shot clock. Fulkerson is hacked. Batty saying he was straight up. Crowd doesn't like it.
Mike Reed calling it just a punch right here. Watch him reach right there. Anytime you reach, you run the risk. Even if you hit the ball, you run the risk of getting a foul called on you. That's why that foul was called.
Whether Colorado wins this game or not, they're going to learn a lot about themselves playing number 5 UCLA and number 13 Tennessee back-to-back.
I think that level of competition, if you learn the right way and are able to make some adjustments.
Batty called for another foul. That's his 4th. And he fouled out against UCLA, so...
See the right hand come down and reach. And again, if he's straight up, watch the right hand come down and reach right there. If he's straight up with both hands, he's in great position.
Fulkerson hits the first. And going back to playing UCLA and Tennessee for Colorado, back-to-back games against AP Top 25 teams for the first time since January of 2018. They've won 4 straight home games versus AP Top 25 teams, so that's in jeopardy.
We'll call that. That's a bump.
14 on the shot clock. Inside to Walker.
Nice job finishing with the left hand down low by Walker.
Approaching 4 minutes remaining in this one from Boulder.
Got to get it down low to Fulkerson on the block. He's had his way down there.
Fulkerson fading. Short. Here's Simpson. Lost it out of bounds. The 16th turnover for Colorado. They're down 11 here on FS1.
Going against their neighbors, Loyola Chicago, Sweet 16 team from last year. That one is next on FS1. Jacob and Seth.
Thank you, my man. An 11-point lead for Tennessee over Colorado. Talking about Kennedy Chandler all night long. He's a star, 25 points tonight. This was his FIBA U19 World Cup team. They won the gold, said.
Yeah, they did an outstanding job coming together. See Big Chet Holmgren back there in the background, and Peyton Washington from UCLA, Harrison Ingram from Stanford. I mean, Pac-12 well represented in that game, or with that team.
And Chandler has made 12 field goals, the most by a Vols since Admiral Schofield, who had 12 on 30 points when Tennessee upset top-ranked Gonzaga December 9th, 2018.
Vols being patient, running defensive players off screens and really just moving the ball. But when this man decides it's enough, it's enough.
3 on the shot clock. Looked good, but caught air.
I tell you what, Jabari Walker has done an outstanding job when he's been matched up with Kennedy Chandler. I mean, the effort's been there. He's taken that personal challenge on to shut down the young Mr. Chandler.
And Simpson is hobbling off to the side. Batty back in with 4 fouls. And hopefully he's okay. The Buffs looking for offense, down 11 with 3 minutes to go.
You got to go quick. I mean, there's just too much indecision. You stand, you allow defense to get ready.
Bartholomew just hasn't had it tonight. 2 for 13.
He has struggled mightily. I feel like there's too much indecision with his game. When he gets set up, he's got to make a decision and go with it quickly.
He's learning how to be that dominant scorer at the guard position. Powell can't connect on the 3. Walker with another rebound. It's his 5th. To Batty. And 1. Evan Batty keeping his team alive.
He is such a big body. Tough to get around and a good entry. And then he goes to work and is patient. Good job. Nice power dribble out to get space. Good block on the first one by James, but can't get out of there without a foul in the second.
Batty is 70% free throw shooter, had scored 16 or more points in 6 of his first 7 games before he got into foul trouble and fouled out at UCLA. Tonight, he's got 12.
It's 3 of 7 from the line. He has struggled.
Nine-point Tennessee lead. Fulkerson, Vescovi, a dagger. Santiago Vescovi from Uruguay.
You've been waiting to say that all day, haven't you?
Si, senor.
Vescovi hasn't played much because of foul trouble, but he has been efficient with his minutes, and his minutes have counted.
Bartholomew missing badly. 0 for 5 from downtown, and the crowd starting to exit here at the CU Event Center.
Tennessee comes in here with this altitude and everything. I mean, they just continue to wear this team down. It happened all out front at the guard spot. Kennedy Chandler, Zakai Ziegler, and Vescovi, when they were on the floor, made all the right calls, all the right decisions for this Tennessee team.
Yeah, Tennessee, a team that's in shape. Their players are always in great shape. Vescovi hits the triple there. Vescovi's one of the guys that has taken his body to a whole new level. Stopped eating the fast food cookout and really changed his diet, and that's what Rick Barnes pointed to. He said his physical ability and his conditioning has upped his game to another level.
Like his conditioning, right? That's crazy for a young man to have those kind of thoughts. I want to change it right now. He wasn't a blob, wasn't out of shape, wasn't a chubby guy, but just thought his body could be more efficient. The fuel he's burning could be cleaner, and his conditioning has paid off.
You have to credit their sports performance coach, Garrett Menwald. He has these guys in tip-top shape. And Chandler almost rattled home a 3.
All but dropped to the floor.
Simpson back in there, and he's blocked. Believe that was James.
I'm going to give that one to Chandler. It's going to help the legend grow.
And a foul given by De Silva. We'll take a look. Who's right? How about that?
I eat lots of carrots, and my eyes are great. My eyes are great, young man. Right there, he got to it first. Watch one get to it first.
All right, you're fine. 8 blocks for Tennessee tonight. CU just 1 on the defensive end.
I mean, there's just a different kind of explosion with this group from Tennessee, and we watch them and shoot around. The way they interact with each other, they get along great. And for the bus, they're still trying to build that, right? You don't have that General Patton on the floor with McKinley Wright. You're still trying to find who's going to help lead this team outside of Evan Batty.
Walker driving inside and a foul on the floor. Tennessee will stay on the road. They're going to New York City to play Texas Tech. They won't go back to Tennessee. So a true 6-day road trip. They then have UNC Greensboro, USC Upstate, and then they play Memphis and Arizona before SEC play starts on the 29th of December.
I mean, that's a tough schedule. Arizona's still undefeated. I mean, this Memphis talented. They're not playing any cupcakes.
If you're Colorado, what do you take out of this game?
Just areas that you can work on improvement, right? You're young, you're still growing, you're learning. But there are things that you can do and that Coach Boyle will do to help get them right. And we kind of run the gauntlet 2 days this week, right? UCLA and now Tennessee, ranked opponents with size, strength. You got to learn how to play against those kind of things.
Chandler, the finishing touch as he silences the crowd here in Boulder. 29 points for the freshman. And that's how this one comes to a close. Kennedy Chandler closes it out. 69-54, the final.
Just a fantastic effort.
All right, that'll do it here from Boulder. Director John Ward, producer Brian Biederman. From my man Seth Bonner, I'm Jacob Toby. 69-54, Tennessee.